This podcast is authorized and paid for by Friends of Gentner Drummond 2026.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Bold Ideas with Gentner Drummond. General Drummond, thanks for talking today. We're going to talk about taxes and dive into some details. Your opponent talks about a few things on the campaign trail. He's got one endorsement he talks about a lot. He has some fake contribution that he brings up all the time, and he likes to talk about his favorite subject, taxes. Now, you're for cutting taxes, but you want to do so responsibly. And his plan, what do you think of his plan that he's put out there?
So I have to tell you, we've done a lot of looking into this, and it's a campaign slogan, folks. I'm a conservative. I want to find a path to reduce your income taxes, but do it responsibly. I'm afraid that the Mazzei plan, if he actually got to implement it, would destroy public safety, injure our schools, injure our infrastructure. It would be tragedy for the state.
You know, campaigns have ads, slogans, and plans, and that's, I mock that right now because I think that's Mazzei's plan is not really a plan at all. It's a plan for disaster if it actually were to get implemented. And, it needs to be held up to scrutiny. These things need to be debated. Unfortunately, Mike Mazzei's not showing up very much to debate you on this topic.
He's got a great Biden in the cellar plan. Don't be seen. Certainly don't be compared to Drummond.
Well, you've been endorsed by quite a few state legislators across the state, one of which is Representative Mark Lawson from Sapulpa. And Mark has taken the time, and you've watched this video, it's about 12 minutes, where he goes through point by point examining Mike Mazzei's tax plan and how it would actually affect Oklahomans. What were your thoughts when you watched this video?
No, I think Mark is brilliant. He's taken a lot of effort and dived in deeply, and I will tell you, after watching the plan, watching Mark dissect the plan, there is no plan, folks. It is a campaign slogan to deceive you. He will lie to you about this alleged Biden donation, and he's lying to you about his tax plan. I hope that you see through it.
Well, without further ado, here's Mark Lawson's video diving into Mike Mazzei's tax plan.
Hi, Oklahoma. For those of you I haven't met, my name is Mark Lawson. I serve as a state representative from House District 30 here in Sapulpa. I also serve as the House Majority Leader. And I felt like this is something that maybe all Oklahomans, not just my constituents, would want to hear. I want to talk to you about the upcoming election on August 25th and some things that are of genuine concern to me that I think you should be aware of, and really to get your feedback to see if you indeed share the same concerns that I do. I'm talking in particular about a certain no income tax plan that Mr. Mazzei has put forward. I go back to a phrase that we are probably all used to hearing is, if something sounds too good to be true, that's probably because it is. I've spent a lot of time digging into Mr. Mazzei's plan. I intend to share several relevant links in the comments here so that you can see what I've seen. But I'm genuinely curious if you share the same concerns that I do or not, because our voice matters, our vote matters, and who we elect as our governor certainly matters. Let's talk about Mr. Mazzei's plan. If you've heard him speak, he's, like all candidates, has appeared on debate stages, on news interviews. He's sat down with reporters and really spread his message. In his no income tax plan, he really says it's based on 3 steps. I'm going to talk about steps 1 and 3 first, but 2 is where the most concern comes for me. Step 1, he says, is essentially cleaning up the tax code, getting rid of deductions, exemptions, credits, etc. And I think what Mr. Mazzei is saying is true there. If an Oklahoman doesn't have any income tax liability, there is nothing against which to credit or deduct or exempt. And then he says step 3 is what he is calling adopting the Tennessee model. And so Tennessee is a no income tax state. And we will get to step 3 in a bit. And that essentially means, taxing certain goods and services that we don't currently tax today in the state of Oklahoma. But step 2, he has gone on record about every time he's sat down with someone or in front of a group of people and said that his plan to reduce the state income tax to 0 includes eliminating all sales tax exemptions that are currently on the books. Now, what really raised my concern was it was brought up that one of the biggest sales tax exemptions that currently exists is the agricultural sales tax exemption. So think of anyone in the ag business, whether they are cutting hay to raising poultry to cattlemen to wheat, sorghum, cotton, you name it. The purchase of goods to keep those farms operating are all sales tax exempt. Now, I have seen Mr. Mazzei has retracted that. He's gone back on his position and saying that he doesn't intend to eliminate that exemption. And that's very quickly where I see his plan starting to fall apart. I want to timestamp this video because it is my opinion that as I share these concerns with you, and maybe they spread, maybe they don't, that he's quickly going to continue to flip-flop on his plan because it is politically inconvenient. There are a lot of sales tax exemptions on the books that I think benefit a lot of Oklahomans. And currently under his plan, Mr. Mazzei has called a lot of these silly. He has said that they are a special interest and that we need to do away with them in order to become a no income tax state. Let's talk about a few of those. Churches. Churches are currently sales tax exempt in the state of Oklahoma. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't consider going to church or being a member of a church or churches to be silly or special interest. Utility bills, your gas bill and your electric bill. Under his plan, you will pay more on your utility bill every month. Groceries. The state of Oklahoma eliminated the state's portion of sales tax on groceries just 2 years ago. Groceries are something that all Oklahomans use. We have to eat to survive. Under Mr. Mazzei's plan, those exemptions go away. Disabled veterans. Currently, 100% disabled veterans and their surviving spouses, should they pass, are sales tax exempt. That includes a lot of military and veteran organizations such as the DMV, the VFW, the DAV, the American Legion, Blue Star Mothers. Those go away under Mr. Mazzei's plan. A few more here that I think are of consequence. The NRA, your Second Amendment organization, the premier Second Amendment organization in the state of Oklahoma. They're currently tax exempt. According to Mr. Mazzei, those are silly and special interest, and those go away. Prescription drugs. So luckily, my family's very healthy, but I know that I still have, I'm fortunate to have grandparents still here with me. My mom and dad are beginning to age, and we know as we age, our need to utilize healthcare continues to increase. It's very concerning to me that out of one side of his mouth, Mr. Mazzei says he cares about seniors and they're being taxed out of their homes. And I think that this is true. I don't mean to belittle that, but what I don't want to do is to turn around and tell a senior, hey, I'm going to do everything I can for you, and then tax them on all their goods and services, their groceries and their prescription drugs. Ladies and gentlemen, this is of extreme consequence to you. A lot of these exemptions are in place, such as the agricultural exemption, to keep food costs low, to keep the clothing that we wear low, to keep goods and services that you and I buy every day over the year at a reasonable price. Let's move on to step 3, though, for a minute. He talks about adopting the Tennessee model, and there are many things that are concerning if Oklahoma were to move in that direction. Most of which I think is the taxing of services that we don't currently tax. Think of things like dry cleaning. This could expand to things like getting your hair cut. If you pay someone to mow your lawn, we currently don't tax those in the state of Oklahoma, but under a Tennessee model and under Mr. Mazzei's plan, we would. And my concern is that all of these add up over time, so that if you aren't making a lot of money in the state of Oklahoma, the median income, so that means half of Oklahomans are at about $60,000 or less. This is going to disproportionately affect those that are making under that amount. I believe around $40,000 in some of the modeling that I've done is that break-even point. If you're at $40,000 or below, you are going to pay more in sales taxes throughout the year than you would pay currently under the state income tax plan. Another good reminder here is the state of Oklahoma not only recently lowered the income tax rate, but it put Oklahoma on a path to zero, which looks at annual revenues. And as those grow, we slowly decrease further the state income tax so that we can not sacrifice core services of government, but still give you as the taxpayer your money back without sacrificing the things that we all depend on and the things that we care about, from law enforcement to education to roads and bridges to healthcare, without injuring any of those in a very conservative and responsible way. Under the Tennessee model as well, and something you should know, we have in Oklahoma reduced the corporate income tax rate down to 4% in the last 3 years. Under a Tennessee model, we would raise that to 6.5%. We also eliminated the franchise tax on businesses in the state of Oklahoma. And now up until 2023 or 2024, we had a franchise tax on businesses, so corporations, LLCs operating in Oklahoma, and it was capped at a hard cap of $20,000 annually. We removed that. If we adopt the Tennessee model, and we, as Mr. Mazzei said, go to a no income tax state in a revenue neutral manner so that we are not sacrificing core services, we would have to enact a 0.25% franchise tax like they do in Tennessee with no cap. What does that mean? That means every LLC, whether you're a sole proprietor, you've started your own business, you have 2 or 10 employees, or you're a big corporation, it looks at your assets minus your liabilities to determine your net worth, and you will pay 0.25%. Now, ladies and gentlemen, what this means, and we recently saw the people of the state of Oklahoma vote against a minimum wage increase. In my opinion, that was largely due to people knowing that that was going to drive up the cost of doing business in the state of Oklahoma. And anytime businesses incur more or new expense, what does that mean for you and me? It means that the prices of the goods and services that they sell go up. That is more money that we have to pay. And listen, I don't begrudge businesses trying to make a profit and make money and be profitable. I think it's quite antithetical to a lot of what Mr. Mazzei has said in his campaign to go and advocate for a model that is not friendly to business, and it is not friendly to Oklahomans who are either A, entering the workforce. Sapulpa Police Department has a job opening. It starts at $40,000. Under a zero income tax plan, under Mike Mazzei's plan, that police officer is going to pay more annually in sales tax than they do currently in income tax. Look at every first-year teacher out of college in the state of Oklahoma. That's what the state minimum salary is for a teacher. It's right around $40,000. But more importantly, and who I think it's going to disproportionately affect the most, are our seniors on fixed incomes. Those who are worried about paying the bills every month. Those who are eking by and maybe rationing their food. Those who, he says, are being taxed out of their homes. That is real. But his plan is going to disproportionately make their lives more expensive because they're not paying income tax, but they're paying a much higher sales tax. Again, I'm going to post a lot of these links in the comments. You can go and see what he has said. You can go and listen to what he's proposed. I will share with you some of the reports that I've received from the tax commission so that you can check my work. But guys, mark my words, when these things get out, like Mike Mazzei wants to tax prescription drugs on seniors, he wants to reinstate the grocery tax, he's already walked back the agricultural sales tax exemption. He's going to say, oh, I didn't mean that we were going to tax businesses, or we were going to tax food, or we were going to tax veterans. Every one of those sales tax exemptions that he flip-flops on, like he's done a lot recently, that just means we have to raise the sales tax under a Tennessee model, which is step 3 of his plan, even higher. And every time we raise those other sales taxes higher, that is just more money that comes out of your pocket. Now, I will tell you, that is not in the interest of the people of House District 30. A lot of his plan calls on the legislature to go and enact what he is rolling out, and I just do not think that that is conservative. I do not think that that is looking out for the hardworking Oklahomans that are just entering the workforce, and it's certainly not good for seniors who are on fixed income. I can't support a plan like this. I think it should concern you as much as it concerns me, but check my work. Let me know what you think. I think we have a very important decision to make on August 25th, and that's why I'm proud to be supporting Gentner Drummond, who looks out for the people that need it most. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Bold Ideas with Gentner Drummond. Please go to drummondok.com to get involved in the campaign and also to learn more information. Also, remember that August 10th is the last day to request an absentee ballot. Early voting begins on August 20th, and it's so important that we make a plan to get out and vote on August 25th and elect Gentner Drummond, the next governor of Oklahoma.
This podcast is authorized and paid for by Friends of Gentner Drummond 2026.